Hey guys, Mike G here on a mission of adventure, kindness, and wellness. Thanks for checking into my channel. I know that currently a large majority of my followers have started from the documentary that I made with my brother. I want to say thank you guys very much for taking the time to watch that and taking the interest in it. My channel, as it develops, is really focused on this mission of adventure, kindness, and wellness. And although I do think it's, a bit of a different kind of direction than the documentary, I hope several of you guys still enjoy what I'm doing. At the same time, those of you who are seeking out more of the wild and interesting stuff, like in that documentary, you probably won't see a whole lot more of that here. I want to tell you a little bit about why I'm here and how I came up with this mission, this concept. So I spent the last 7 years living out in Summit County, Colorado. That's where Breckenridge, Keystone, and several other ski slopes are either in that county or really close by. I came back home to my hometown in Wichita, Kansas, just due to unplanned and uncontrollable circumstances, and had some real time to think about what I'm going to do with my life. Now I'm not young anymore. I am not married anymore. I don't have kids. When I came home, I had zero debt. I did have to put a new engine in my vehicle in the last week or two, and so I have some debt now. But that vehicle is going to be a big part of this channel and the pursuit of the mission of adventure, kindness, and wellness. So when I came home, I was pretty demoralized from some of the things that had happened that led up to me coming back to the place that, as much as I appreciate being from, I don't necessarily appreciate being here for that long. I like being in the mountains. I like traveling. I like, rivers with crystal clear water and activities and a lot of the things that they're just not here. So I came back. I was, down, didn't know what direction I was going with my life. Ever since college, I spent just a few years in my field as a professional video producer before I realized being an employee in that field was not right for me. Then I spent several years after, and I had moved to Colorado and then to Washington State and back to Kansas to start my own business concept. And, I'd been working on the website and figuring out funding and business model for years before that. Spent 4 years back in Wichita and ultimately learned a whole lot of lessons, lost all my money, destroyed my credit, and pursued what I wanted the most for myself out of life, which was to end up in Summit County. That's what I wanted at that moment. I really wanted to go out and make the ski slope life a real thing. I wanted to create content. Got out there, got a roommate, young, really talented snowboarder. Ended up being, he was competing by the time we left, competing with top name pros and getting on the podium. And we started producing videos quickly. And then I broke my ankle in 7 places and couldn't walk for 5 months. All kinds of things happened over that period of time. And when I ended up back home, I was, like I said, out of debt. And I didn't know what to do next. My whole life, coming from a college education, I didn't have a real understanding of how much education and society really trains people into needing directions to follow. As much as I've been an entrepreneur, I've been independent, I've thought different than everybody else, there was this thing that going through the education system, following that path, you really get stuck on the idea of trading hours for dollars to basically survive and to thrive. And as many people are starting to figure out that are my generation and younger, our time, our energy, our knowledge, our skills are giving us less and less buying power per hour, per hour of time spent, or whatever unit of time you want to measure it by. And my dream the whole time has always been to create amazing content and tell great stories yet I've been battling the whole time with this, okay, well, I need to have the stability of my hours for dollars, and maybe someday I can create a situation where I can start to do what I want to do. And, you know, as I'm at home, I'm turned 40 years old, I realize, you know, there's not that terribly much time to bring our dreams to reality. And one of the most important things is you have to define what those dreams are, what's important to you, who are you, who do you want to be. And I really spent several months just focused on those questions. Who am I? Who do I want to become? And throughout that time, I picked up kind of a, you know, at first it was almost an abusive obsession with fitness and the gym and eating what I thought was eating good. You know, since then I've been doing this fitness stuff for 17 months now, and learned a lot more how to just integrate it into life, how to develop good habits and get results from the habits versus going crazy, punishing yourself, doing 4 hours in the gym 7 days a week like I was. It just, you know, I had to put my energy somewhere because I had so much emotion and nothing to achieve at that moment. So I've been home for over a year now, year and a half, and I'm getting really, what's cabin fever? That's the word I was thinking of. I'm getting really anxious to get on the road, get out and have some more adventures. Throughout that time, I was thinking, what are the things that matter the most to me? And I've lived through the same last several years as all you guys have. We've had a lot of turmoil, division amongst friends, neighbors, and family. I got sucked into it like almost everybody else did at one point. And I kind of got to this moment where I was working at a place that had a lot of people that were really opinionated about many of the different issues that we've been dealing with. And, I could allow this stuff to upset, frustrate, or hurt me. I could get into it back and forth, or I could just shrug my shoulders and say, hey, this is something that I'm not in control of. What I can control is how I interact with the world on a day-to-day basis, how I feel, how positive I am, and how I'm not going to let things bring me down that I don't have any influence over. And honestly, it's almost like a weight's been lifted off of my shoulders, because I'm able to look at people, even if I think they are thinking, saying, and acting in really crappy ways. I try to take a step back and understand where it's coming from and realize, yeah, maybe this is a pretty good person, and maybe I completely disagree with them on certain stuff, but they're coming from a different perspective. They're around different people. It's not my job to try to fix them. I'm going to let them go ahead and keep being crazy if they want to. So, that was, I think, maybe some of the real beginning of just the thought of focusing on kindness more, not being upset by others so much. There's a really big part of this kindness element, though, that I have a big vision for, and I've talked about it before, just as I was driving around. One of the, I was a pro downhill mountain bike coach for 2 summers out in Keystone, Colorado, and throughout my life, I think probably the single object that's had the most impact on me is a bicycle. I see for young people, it gives them independence. It keeps you healthy and active, and you get your hands dirty. At least me, I liked going out and kind of jumping and wheeling and beating my bikes up and getting my bloody knees, and then bending or breaking parts, or learning to go mow lawns and save up money so I could get some different parts and upgrade the bike. And over the years, bicycles have kind of always been a special part of my life. And I remember seeing a dad, or I don't know if he was a dad, but a guy that looked like he was my age, and a group of boys, like maybe 3 of them, I think, maybe it was just 2, and they were maybe 12 years old, out riding bikes. And I can't believe how stoked it got me. I was like, dude, that's what you're supposed to be doing. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous that should be such an exciting thing. That should be a normal thing. Me and my parents, we rode bikes when I was little. We rode bike paths. When I was really small, we used to sit on, they had like child seats that would sit on the back of their bikes. Those are, now they have strollers. Everything's a lot more focused on safety. When I was young, Ski Patrol didn't even wear helmets for those of you guys who do ski trips. But my dream and vision with part of the kindness element of this, as I develop the capacity, it is to get a group of kids, of probably underprivileged kids, bring them a whole bunch of bicycle parts, a truckload of parts, rusty bikes, of donated piece of crap beat up bikes, and have a bunch of mentors of older people who are pretty handy with bikes. Hopefully a couple that are real familiar with them, and help these kids pick out parts, clean them up, get the rust off of them, get everything restored. Maybe we probably sandblast the frames and powder coat or paint the bikes up. And these kids, not only would they have access to the thing that I think had the most impact on my youth, one of the things that had the most positive impact on my youth, giving them access to that they put their hands on, that they worked, that they've spent several weeks coming back and building, so they have the pride of having something that they actually built, they worked on, they earned, and they own, and not just having something cool given to them to go out hopefully and ride, or maybe get stolen or traded off for a cell phone or a video game system. And to me, it just seems like I don't know a better way to impact a portion of a community in a really positive manner. So that really is part of my vision with the kindness part of this. Now, I want it to be a lot more. The slogan, the words I'm going by are adventure, kindness, and wellness. And as I'm getting past a lot of this old content and preparing for the future, the plan is to take the 4x4 adventure limo. Hopefully you've seen that on another video on my channel, but if not, make sure to go snoop around my videos. Maybe I'll put a link up here or down here, wherever it pops up, and check that out. So I want to travel, go on an adventure, do something kind to help the community, and then do something to focus on wellness. And I don't want to give away huge amounts of everything I'm dreaming of, but hitting the road for these adventures in a four-wheel drive limousine that I've spent 4 months of my life living out of in the mountains previously, that's pretty much the ultimate freedom and independence. It's got a brand new motor in it with under 1,000 miles on it now, brand new, and I'm really seriously considering even giving it away if I get enough followers and likes on that video and all that stuff. But that's still in the works, because the video I'm finishing editing on that it spans almost a decade of my life. It's really important to me, and it's ultimately kind of not only going to tell the story, but part of the story of how I went from having all these skills and equipment and no real direction to deciding this is what I'm dedicating my life to. This is what my future is about for at least the next decade, and probably longer. We'll see. So on the road with adventure, kindness, and wellness, just the thought of being able to do the stuff that I've always wanted to do, the stuff that I've been trained to do, I've done professionally for 20 years now, behind the camera, but doing it in a way that will actually not only fund that mission, but create more resources so I can then put them back into making that mission even bigger and better. And then hopefully with time, I will be able to create real, some real impact for more than just, a group of 10 or 20 kids in a community somewhere. At the same time, I hope to have some real positive influence on the people who follow my channel hopefully they get out and have some adventures. They are inspired to do something kind for somebody. They realize, we are in charge of our own health, physically and mentally, and I hope that I can inspire them to pursue a little bit more wellness in both of those ranges, both of those areas. I've got a lot to learn about turning my passion into a career through YouTube, but I've got so many of the right prerequisite skills, and I'm been super uncomfortable getting in front of the camera, but I know that's something I feel like I'm killing it right now, and this is just freestyle. I'm just shooting from the hip. So I really hope to develop this much more, because I've realized I've got everything I need if I'm willing to stop trying to depend on others to fill in the blanks. And so it's a little bit scary, because right now I got a brand new engine. I don't have income at the moment. I kind of do. I'm freelancing with friends' businesses. I'm still working on Big Dog Motorcycles YouTube channel, and make sure to check those guys out. I'll see if I can put a link to them up here. Still figuring all this out. So I've got a couple thousand followers over there traveling and doing motorcycle videos with them. But for the time being, I'm working on kind of the structure of this channel. I'm learning a lot of things, and I've got a lot of old great content that can help build the foundation for this channel. It can give me a lot more experience being able to analyze what works, what doesn't, hopefully attract more of my tribe. I want to bring people to me that relate to me, that are interested in me. I don't need 100 million followers that nobody really cares about me. I do hope over time I can develop a real dedicated following, but I want to bring people in that are truly interested in the things I'm doing and the messages that I have to give. And that doesn't mean that you have to be a 40-year-old dude with long hair who likes riding bicycles and snowboards and motorcycles to really enjoy the mission of adventure, kindness, and wellness. It's funny, most of my favorite channels have little to do with what I actually do in my life. I'm surprised how much I enjoy watching YouTube creators fix up and work on their cars and make cool vehicles. And I do like tinkering with my stuff, but I'm not ready to try to redevelop that skill set. There's so much time and energy and passion that goes into that, and I've got such a great, cool technical skill set here, as long as I'm out telling cool stories and I'm creating the content that I've dreamt of creating. So adventure, kindness, and wellness, that's the mission. I want to keep putting videos out like this from time to time, just so I can hop back and take a look at them. There's a good chance nobody watches this. This isn't really supposed to be focused on getting views or likes. This is me getting some practice. This is me talking to my most devoted and interested followers, because I know I do have a handful of people who probably are pretty interested in the things I've either done or the direction they see me going. So, over time I want to keep doing this a little bit more, and one of my biggest challenges I've had that I've got to get myself past is not letting the great be the enemy of the good. I'm like, well, I need to use the DSLR. I have to have the right lights. I have to have the right audio. We have to have the right framing. Man, sometimes I need to just be able to pull out my camera, just hit record and just go, because I've noticed the people I enjoy watching the most, theirs isn't all nice and polished all the time. A lot of it isn't. That's the jump cuts. You'll probably see a few of these in this video. Some other videos you might see a bunch in it. That used to be, you wouldn't do that at all when I was producing videos for television and corporate and government stuff. It was such a smooth, polished thing, and they were long and drawn out, slow content. And it's, I have to kind of redevelop my instincts to create content now for my viewers who are not sitting through a government or corporate training program for 2 weeks or a month, being forced to watch a video that they don't really care about, that I was trying to make interesting when I'm almost falling asleep as I'm creating it then. So we'll see how this all goes. It's going to be a little bit of a shotgun approach here for a while. I do have the vision of the structure of the main part of this that I think will help me grow the most but I know there's a lot more. I should be doing some live videos. I should be doing some podcasts. I have some really cool guests that I could get on here, and I really, really want to take the show on the road and take the Adventure Limo to different content creators who I enjoy. I think we would have a good conversation and break out the podcast right in the back of the limo, or we can hop out to their location. There's so many possibilities. The main thing is I just got to push record, like Sean Cannell over at Think Media always says. So, guys, thanks for following me. For the handful of you who have come to this video and chosen to watch through it, I do truly appreciate it. Shoot me a message, shoot me some responses. I've gotten a couple cool ideas from some people, and I'm actually remembering something right now. Maybe I'll do another video on one of my followers had hit me up about. So thanks again so much for following along on the mission of adventure, kindness, and wellness. We're just getting started. One of the best things you could do to help support my channel is just simply keep watching my videos. Hit that like button every once in a while. You're probably already subscribed if you've clicked on this, but if not and you are interested, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be putting links below for, let's say, soundtracks, for instance. You can get a month free of the soundtrack library that I use the most. It gives you royalty-free music. It starts at $9 a month after that. AAA membership. I've had one for more than half of my life. I'm going to add those to all my videos pretty soon. And let me tell you, the small amount of money it costs every month versus the amount of times I've used tows throughout my life, my whole family has used it, that AAA roadside assistance has been one of the absolute best investments and insurance policies I've had. So I'm going to have a link below for them. If you're on the road, if you're a road tripper, van lifer, somebody who's just thinking about traveling, or maybe you got kids that you don't want to have a breakdown and call you in the middle of the night, which is how I got my first AAA membership after waking up my dad late at night when I was probably 18. Probably 18, because I can't imagine having been out too terribly late too many years before that. But so yeah, check out below this video. I'll have that AAA membership set up pretty soon. I've got an Amazon store that shows the video equipment I use. I'm also working on another category for all the road trip equipment that I suggest. Check out my Amazon store, and I've got merch coming soon also. So the Adventure, Kindness, Wellness merch will be coming around. Those are all great ways to support the mission, and with enough time, enough views, enough followers, I could actually do something. We could actually do something that can have a positive a positive impact and influence on our communities and hopefully the whole world. So guys, keep some adventure, kindness, and wellness in your lives, and check back soon.